Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Two Bit Idiots. I'm your idiot today, John Holman, accompanied by my co-idiot, Drake Dean Anthony Kinnear.
That's me.
So, Drake, how are you doing today?
Awful. Yourself?
Pretty good, because today we're going to be talking about Street Fighter 6.
Way to rub it in.
So for anyone who doesn't know about Street Fighter 6, it is the latest installment in the Street Fighter series made by the company Capcom. Recently, they released a demo on the game, showing off all their groundbreaking graphics thanks to their RE engine, and also gameplay that's never been seen in any Street Fighter game before. Just to clarify, you're not a pro player, Drake. You wouldn't say you are.
No, and I wouldn't say you are either.
Very well. So this is going to be more of like a casual perspective of fighting games. Because most podcasts, they have it from the perspective of like someone who's been doing it for literal decades, like Maximilian Dude or Justin Wong. But for us, we're just two idiots.
And that's quite important, since most fighting games are viewed as a little impenetrable to the modern audience. But not this one.
Yes. So today, we're going to break down all the stuff that we experienced in the Street Fighter demo and give our opinion on it. So there were three components in the Street Fighter demo. There was the World Tour, the Battle Hub, World Tour, Battle Hub, and the Fighting Club. So the Battle Hub was not included in the Street Fighter 6 demo. So we're going to ignore that. The Battle Hub is just basically the online. But what this demo focused on was single player content, World Tour and Fighting Club. So we're going to start with the World Tour, which was basically the single player story mode. So Drake, what was your opinion on the World Tour?
Well, it was quite short, and I will admit, I watched more cutscenes than I actually played the game. However, it shows pretty good promise. Much like modern New York, you can walk up to people and initiate a fight by talking to them.
You can also initiate conversations. It leads to getting all sorts of great emotes and fun stuff. I actually really liked it myself. Like being able to talk to someone, get to know them, and then just literally beat the crap out of them.
The more rare interaction in New York City, talking to someone as opposed to fighting them.
So yeah, I actually really liked it because you're in the game. You're traveling through a place called Metro City, which is like a location from not Street Fighter, but a game called Final Fight, and you actually get to like a whole bunch of Final Fight references as well as a bunch of references to other Capcom games, which I really thought was cool. There's like literally a tiling on the floor that lists off all the fighting games Capcom ever made, starting from Street Fighter all the way to Street Fighter 6.
It's like the Hollywood Walk of Stars, but for nerds.
But yeah, it's like got a whole bunch of, we should also talk about character creator. Holy cow, I actually really like it.
I just hit the basic default, I won't even lie. I was a little preoccupied.
But the character creator, in all honesty, something you should totally play with, because you could mess for hours on that thing and make horrifying abominations.
You could create anything from handsome Squidward to ugly Squidward.
To just Squidward.
That was the ugly one.
Okay. So there was also, I actually really liked World Tour purely because it is a story mode, but unlike most other story modes in fighting games where it's just like, here's the characters going on a story, and then occasionally it's broken up with a fight, in World Tour, the game is designed around actually teaching you how to play a game. So for casual players like us, that's actually really good because it teaches you how to punish someone after they do a move, or how to just basic controls, the different control schemes, from modern controls for more simpler inputs to classic controls to more traditional inputs like quarter circles rather than just directional inputs like up, down, left, right.
And to add on to the learning curve, you unlock moves over time, along with acquiring new movesets by talking to the characters in the world.
I actually really like that. I think that's really smart, so that it doesn't give you all of this stuff all at once like most fighting games. It lets you learn it slowly as time goes on.
Choice paralysis has been a pretty big issue, especially the larger the roster is.
Yeah. Which, honestly, the roster for this game, I actually... Because the roster in the demo was literally just 2 characters. But for the full game, it's going to be 18. So you're definitely going to need to learn those moves slowly over time in order to understand. Because everyone's got different moves, different archetypes, different everything.
Yep. And speaking of those 2 characters, they were Ryu and newcomer Luke. Surprisingly, in this game, Ryu is not the most basic character anymore. That goes to the honor of Luke.
Yeah. So Ryu, I guess now we can kind of transition over to Fighting Club, which is where you can pick Luke and Ryu, and basically fight in a one-on-one face-off against each other. Um, it's honestly really good. I liked it.
It is actually really good. I enjoyed winning a lot, but that's just from our personal experience playing the game against one another. Uh, the they changed Ryu just enough to where he's still faithful to how he played in the older games, but by God, that man is on a new level now. The new moves they added and the new mechanics elevate him beyond just a basic character you pick up just to learn the game.
He has a move called Denjin, which is basically you hold down twice and press punch, and he charges up his like some aura energy, and
His key.
yes, and he basically it changes some of his moves, like his quarter circle back punch ends up, instead of just knocking you back, it stuns you and then opens you up to more combos.
His classical Hadouken hits for more hits and is more damaging on top of that.
Yeah, it's really sick, and it even like changes the supers and everything, makes them do more damage and have different properties. It's really cool.
So now instead of just being Punch Man, he's got something going on under the hood.
Yeah, now Punch Man is just Luke,
Yeah.
who literally has target combos and where it's just spam one button multiple times and he does that. Which, in all honesty, I kind of liked it just because it's fun to just run in with Luke and be brain dead about it, which I know a lot of casual players are gonna freaking love.
Unlike with Ryu, where you have to press certain buttons and you hit light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, you do a super, do a special. Luke is you can press the same button multiple times to get a combo out for good damage. So you don't need to be that good at the game to start racking up damage on your opponent.
Yeah. So that kind of tackles, for the most part, like each character individually, but there are some gameplay mechanics that are overall for all characters. Basically, the drive gauge, which is like the main mechanic of Street Fighter, or Street Fighter 6
Specifically.
So what the drive gauge allows you to do is like a selection of different moves. You've got your drive impact, you've got your parry, you've got drive rush,
And drive cancel.
and then there's one more, drive counter.
Yeah, that's right. You can punish on block now.
So basically, I'll go through all of them real quick. Drive impact. This move is not actually new. It's basically based off of the focus attack from Street Fighter 4. But it's very pretty.
Yeah. For those of you out of the know, the drive impact is the get away from me button.
Basically.
You can eat up to 2 hits without taking any stagger or recoil damage, and you blow through those to strike your opponent for massive damage.
Yeah, when you land the attack, you stun them and it starts a combo. I like it, because I know for a fact a lot of people, when they first get the game, are going to spam that move like crazy. It's going to be hilarious.
That move's the casual's wet dream. I know because I played against John, and that's basically all he used.
But I noticed when I watched a lot of professionals playing it, they used it a lot less. They still used it, but they used it a lot less, which is interesting. Like, there's kind of almost a weird learning curve with when and where to use it. So that's really cool.
The reason being, your drive gauge is a very limited resource. You only have 7 pips, and using a drive impact costs 2. If you run out of this meter, you're essentially shafted in all your offensive capabilities.
Yeah. For not just for the drive impact, but also the other moves, like parry, which honestly for parry, parry is nothing new, but it's new. The way it works is new to Street Fighter 6, where you hold 2 buttons down and you basically take a stance, and any attack that hits you, you can parry. I remember when I was playing with Drake, he actually got shocked because he didn't know I could hold the button down and just parry multiple attacks.
I thought it would be a one and done. You enter the parry stance, you get hit, you leave it, and then you enter a combo of some kind. That's not true. You can hold that for as long as you like. And that's kind of scary when you hit a man 4 different times and he just blocks all of them.
Yeah, but you do, the longer you hold it, the lower your drive gauge goes down. So
it costs gauge to activate the stance and to hold it.
But if you successfully block something, it goes up a little bit.
Up a little bit. There's even a perfect mechanic. If you hit the button just as you get hit, you get a perfect parry. This costs no drive gauge to use, and it allows you to combo off of it much better than a normal one.
I love that. I think that's honestly a great mechanic because it's gonna basically be like, holy cow, you did something cool. Let's make you look really cool because it has this whole slowdown effect and paint splatters everywhere and everything turns like blue. It's really sick.
Yeah, you rhythm game gamers have mechanics specifically made for you.
But yeah, and then also just there's Drive Rush, which is weird because it's you hold the parry, you do the parry input, and then you hold forward twice. Or what I found out while we were playing, there's a shortcut where you hold forward and then you hold the parry input and hold forward again. And what it basically does is you rush down your opponent, and then you basically can continue a combo after you've completed it, or just start a combo and catch them off guard.
You can use it to engage an opponent far away, and if you use a move out of it, it gets stronger. But better yet, you can use it mid-combo to keep the combo going. You can do this for as long as you'd like, as long as you have drive gauge.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's quite nice. I didn't use it because I didn't get the shortcut down, and you didn't use it because you're bad.
No, okay. Moving on. Drive counter. Basically, once again, it's kind of like Drive Impact. It's not new to the series. But it's based off of like what is known as an alpha counter, where basically if someone's hitting you and you notice they're hitting you for a while, you can just kind of like push them off of you.
If the Drive Impact can be say, get away from me, this one's more a request. It doesn't deal as much damage, but it doesn't cost as much gauge and is a little bit safer to use.
Yeah, but I liked it. But granted, the only times I ever pulled it off was by accident. But I feel like if you just get the timing down, you could honestly pull it off very easily.
Yeah, it'd be no thing.
Yeah, but I liked it. Once again, I thought it was a good mechanic, and I thought it was very efficient.
My favorite mechanic added, Critical Arts.
Yeah?
It's by far my favorite. Critical Art is a comeback mechanic. Basically, if you're at low health and have maximum super gauge, you unlock a very powerful version of your level 3 super.
Yeah, I like it too. It's literally the only comeback mechanic in the entire game, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, that don't take the drive gauge as something only for casuals. That will absolutely screw you over if you can't manage it. That is a win more and lose more situation.
The way the game is designed is basically, like overall, the way it's designed is that the more you win, the more you will keep winning. And I like that because it's basically if you do well, then you will get rewarded, and then that allows you to do more cool stuff. Unlike how most games are with their like comeback mechanics, where it's like, oh snap, you're getting beaten up. Let's give you some stuff so we can make this fight more even. It doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, the game allows you to be the one to get you out of a tricky situation. But if you do, you're rewarded just as much as your opponent was.
And it feels a lot more satisfying when you're in like when you make like a really sick comeback, because you feel like you did it rather than just the game giving you something. Like say like Smash Brothers, where it's just like, oh, I've been this Sheik did like this crazy combo on me, but oh, I'm a Joker and I just got like a full meter. I got a full meter and now I can sink and kill her in one forward smash.
The game doesn't hand you the victory or the comeback, but it does give you the tools necessary to make it happen.
I feel like that works so much better.
Yeah, it's almost as if they have like 20 or 30 years of experience in the game.
Yeah. So...
Oh, we didn't even mention the special mode. There was only one in the demo.
That's right. There's supposed to be a selection of special modes in Street Fighter where it's just like, it's not where it's one-on-one combat, but with a twist.
A gimmick, almost.
For the demo, it was a bull would run across the screen, and if you get knocked down 5 times, you lose.
Yep, health is no longer an issue. You can be hit as many times as you like, but as long as your back doesn't touch the ground, you're good.
Now, Drake, I feel as though you did not like this mode as much as I did.
I won't lie, the mode didn't really stick with me since it turned the game away from more punching and spacing each other out to maximize, outranging your opponent with your own moves into more just try to hit him with the like 4 moves you have that reliably knock down.
Yeah.
It also created really bad situations where if you got knocked down, your opponent could put you in a situation where you're more likely to get knocked down, and you can even time it with the bull to get another knockdown. It's very much, if the game can be said win more and lose more, this is that taken to the extreme.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those modes where people can just play for fun. Like, if you just want it, like, let me rephrase this. it's a mode that people could play just to have some dumb fun every once in a while, but it's definitely not going to be a mode that people are going to be like coming back to consistently, like normal 1v1 or Battle Hub or even the single player mode. I feel like the World Tour people will come to that more than that mode. Granted, it is fun for some dumb fun.
It's a sweet treat. It's best used in moderation. But thankfully, they're planning on at least 5 more game modes. I've seen one where it's like they're playing volleyball,
Yeah,
but instead of, actual stances, you're punching a volleyball back and forth.
yeah.
Isn't it a bomb?
Yes. If you can't, there's also one where like 2 coils come down, they electrocute you, and if you get, I think that's also a knockdown game. There's also one mode where I actually kind of like it. It's if you can if you can land these specific moves on your opponent before the opponent can land these specific moves, you win.
It's like Simon Says, but you're beating the stuffing out of each other.
Yeah, basically. But do you have any other comments on the game, Drake?
I wish they didn't put you to the main menu every 3 games, and I kind of wish the demo lasted longer, but after that, it was free. Who am I to complain?
Yeah, but that's just kind of like the way demos work. Obviously, the main game is not going to be like that, and honestly, the menus were really good. They were super snappy. You could get from one thing to the next, and if you lose a round, you could immediately just go into a rematch. I freaking love that. I thought that was great.
Oh yeah, something else. The presentation of the game. It's called Street Fighter. However, you haven't really gotten that sense since maybe the 3rd game, Third Strike.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 and 5 felt more official, like it's an actual tournament.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 actually does feel like you're just fighting in the streets. Quite literally in the campaign mode where you walk up to random people and challenge them to fights, but also the presentation, the music, the characters, and how they react to each other. It's just great for the idea behind Street Fighter.
Yeah, literally one of the stages for the 1v1, it wasn't for the demo because they only gave you 2 stages. One was a training stage and one was like somewhere in Japan. But one of the stages that was locked for the main game was literally just like some back alley filled with garbage and like neon lights, and it looks very pretty. And the lighting is very pretty.
By far the prettiest alleyway you'll ever see.
Like basically honestly, I consider Street Fighter 6 like probably one of the prettiest in the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting Street Fighter 6 when it comes out, or at the very least, try the demo.
Yeah, it's free. You don't lose anything, and the single player is more than enough to tell you what the game's about.
But yeah, if you want to get Street Fighter right now, you can pre-order it on Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation. It's also you can pre-order it, or you can order it, because I know Drake doesn't like pre-ordering. So for all those people out there who don't like pre-ordering, it comes out on June 2nd.
It's a bad business practice. I'm just throwing that out there.
Pre-ordering?
Pre-ordering.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy. But yeah, or if you're still kind of hesitant, you aren't certain, you can try it out for yourself for the demo.
And you can be sure you'll see more from us on our main YouTube channel, 2-Bit Idiots Playing the Game.
Yep. So Drake, where are all the places they can hear us?
Well, if you want to find us, our main channel is on YouTube. For the podcast, you can check us on Spotify, also YouTube, and Apple. What's it called?
Podcast.
Apple Podcast. Wow, couldn't remember that. I wonder why. And if you want to send us a message or a submission or suggestion, you can email us, Gmail us, Yahoo us, or fax us. All that information will be down in the links below.
All right. So I think I've got all I've got.
Yep, I think I said everything I need to say.
All right. Sounds good.
This is the 2-Bit Idiots clocking out.